According to Sports Pro, Caitlin Clark is the fourth most marketable athlete in the world. Yeah, not just female athlete, not just in the United States, but in the entire.
Have you seen what Caitlin Clark just pulled off? No, it wasn't just another contract. It was a seismic shift in sports marketing. A $13 billion alliance that didn't just shake the system, it shattered it. But here's where things take a wild turn. As Clark rewrites the playbook, some WNBA players aren't exactly cheering. In fact, Aya Wilson's reaction to this women's basketball revolution? Let's just say, it raised more than a few eyebrows. And that's only the beginning.
How? In what way? What does she sell out tens of thousands of Wilson basketballs in 40 minutes? I mean, what has A'ja Wilson done to say that she is worth every penny and then...
Purple and yellow. Bright. Bold. Unmissable. Wilson and Hy-Vee just teamed up to release limited edition Caitlin Clark basketballs, the Dreamer and Tribute editions, just in time for the holidays. These aren't just basketballs, they're collector's items. Fans are scrambling, and the internet can't stop buzzing. But behind the colors lies something deeper, a collaboration that's turning heads and changing how the game is sold.
Here, they just had this going. This is the Hy-Vee Instagram account. Again, Wilson, Caitlin Clark, really smart, very cool video, lots of smiling faces.
A $13 billion deal. But who really saw it coming? Wilson did. While Nike hesitated, Wilson acted. Signing Caitlin Clark early was no small gamble. It was a Michael Jordan-level bet. Literally. The only other athlete to get this treatment? MJ himself. The moment the deal dropped, social media caught fire. Critics, fans, brands, everyone had something to say. Wilson had just redrawn the blueprint for women's sports, and the echoes are still being felt.
Just did something nobody has done since Michael Jordan. Wilson Sporting Goods signed the WNBA star to a multi-year deal. She's the first female athlete to have her own collection with Wilson. And it will be built similar to Jordan's collection in the 1980s that included those signature basketballs.
And then it happened. Clark's first signature basketball hit the shelves. Within minutes, it was gone. Tens of thousands vanished. Sold out. This wasn't just hype, it was history. Because Caitlin Clark became only the second athlete in the world, after Michael Jordan, to have her name stamped on a Wilson basketball. And that moment, it changed everything.
Only athlete to have a signature basketball with Wilson other than Michael freaking Jordan. Wilson's head of global partnership said we haven't done a deal of this magnitude since we did one with Michael Jordan 30 to 40 years.
But Wilson, they're far from done. They're doubling down, ready to unveil a side of Caitlin Clark we've never seen before. Her magnetic connection with fans. Her influence beyond the arc. Her dominance off the court. And with every gamble they take, the payoff just keeps growing. But what's next in their high-stakes plan?
I don't know that I can name an athlete in recent memory that is sold at this level. And there's the key, folks. Caitlin Clark moves products. Caitlin Clark moves merchandise. And here's what I was talking about too. They mentioned it here. Where in September, Wilson dropped the first Clark-inspired basketball. It sold out in under 40 minutes. Tens of thousands of basketballs snapped up almost instantly.
This isn't just about endorsements anymore. It's about transformation. Corporations are waking up. Female athletes are no longer a risk, they're a revolution. Caitlin Clark is changing the way businesses think, the way sports fans engage, and the way boardrooms place their bets. And now, she's not just leading on the court, she's leading in conference rooms.
Out to Wilson. I think we all really appreciate what Wilson has done. They seem to be the only business, the only entity that has taken Caitlin Clark at face value for what and who she is and the opportunities that can bring. Fully, completely embraced her, been great with their marketing. Product drops, I mean, I don't even know how many different basketballs now, but they've made multiple product drops with, limited quantity, I guess you could say. They're sold out right away. They keep doing more.
And here's the real twist. This deal with Wilson? It wasn't personal, it was strategic. Caitlin Clark didn't just sign for herself. She partnered with Wilson and Hy-Vee, the Midwest's retail giant, to elevate all of women's sports. It wasn't just bold, it was unheard of. But what does that mean for the future of the game?
Apparently all of her basketballs or collabs that she's done are sold out pretty quickly.
You might hear supermarket and think small, but Hy-Vee is no ordinary company. And this isn't your average cereal box sponsorship. Caitlin Clark is now the face of an entirely new kind of sports retail collaboration. One built from the ground up. One designed to inspire and disrupt. And they're just getting started.
Caitlin Clark lands $13 billion brand collab as WNBA stars bond with Wilson grows deeper. And that's the cool part, man. Shout out to Wilson.
Now the real excitement begins. Hy-Vee is releasing exclusive, limited edition Caitlin Clark basketballs. And guess what? They're making waves because they look just like her. These Tribute and Dreams editions are more than merchandise. They're symbols of a movement. Wilson and Hy-Vee are forming a super team off the court. But what's their next play?
Collaboration with supermarket chain Hy-Vee. They rake in more than $13 billion annually. Huge company, just in time for...
Why does this matter so much? Because it's rewriting the entire script for women's sports marketing. These partnerships aren't just flashy, they're foundational. They prove that companies can back a female athlete from the beginning and ride with her through every milestone. Remember when Caitlin was still at Iowa? Hy-Vee was already supporting the Caitlin Clark Foundation. And now, they're standing with her as she rewrites history, one deal at a time.
What this is Hy-Vee has announced an exclusive, yeah, that's right, an exclusive drop of Caitlin Clark's Dreamer and Tribute Wilson basketballs. Very cool. Big deal. Good job, Wilson. You know they probably went and put this together. I mean, maybe Hy-Vee contacted Caitlin Clark first, but, you know, this is probably something, the type of...
Caitlin Clark isn't just putting ink to paper. She's scripting her own legacy. Every product tied to her name tells a chapter of her journey. According to Wilson, each basketball released reflects a different stage of Clark's rise, from her electric days at Iowa to her explosive WNBA debut. This isn't about flashy marketing. It's about building a brand that breathes. And if you're wondering how powerful her name is, SportsPro just ranked her the 4th most marketable athlete on the entire planet. But the question is, who's truly capitalizing on it?
Hy-Vee says it's making a donation to the Caitlin Clark Foundation in honor of her record. $35,690 will be donated. In Clark's basketball career, she's scored 3,569 points to beat the old.
So what happens next? What happens when the floodgates finally open and companies begin to see what Caitlin Clark is showing the world? The day is coming when a $50 million deal for a female athlete won't cause shock. It'll be expected. The more brands take creative risks and double down on women's sports, the less surprising the headlines will become. In fact, the only surprise will be who hesitated.
Number 4, Caitlin Clark, LeBron James at 3, Vinicius Jr., who is a Brazilian soccer star, and number 1 being Simone Biles. As you can see, Caitlin Clark is the only WNBA player in the top 10, and she's actually the only WNBA player in the top 20.
Wilson and Hy-Vee, they're all in on Caitlin Clark. But Nike, that's where things get complicated. You'd think by now they'd be leading the charge. After all, Clark did sign a $28 million deal with them. Yet fans are still waiting. No shoes, no shirts, no massive campaigns. Just silence. Her jersey sales are up 500%. Demand is exploding. But Nike, sitting out. Every day they delay, they leave millions on the table, and fans wondering what's really going on behind the curtain.
Strengthening the partnerships she's already built. From basketballs flying off shelves to multi-million-dollar endorsements, CC is at the forefront of athlete brand.
And insiders, they're baffled. Nike had the golden opportunity to turn Clark into a global icon overnight. Instead, they benched her. No billboards, no sneaker rollout, no visibility. Critics are calling it the biggest fumble in modern sports branding. But the deeper question, why?
Her WNBA season has come and gone. And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials, we have not seen any ads, we have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise, and we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes. It is mind-blowing.
According to industry whispers, Nike is choosing to spotlight Aya Wilson's shoe line instead of Caitlin Clark's. But from a market standpoint, it makes no sense. Clark's name is everywhere. Her impact dwarfs that of Wilson right now. So is this a business move or something more personal?
Where is Caitlin Clark's shoe? Jersey sales skyrocketed by 500% this season. Where's the shoe, folks?
Meanwhile, while Nike stalls, Wilson sells out basketballs in minutes. Other companies are innovating, creating exclusives, and building momentum. Everyone sees Caitlin Clark's value, even her rivals. But Nike's silence is getting louder. And with every passing week, that silence sounds more like doubt.
The shoe, folks, where is it? Paige Becker recently landed her own signature shoe. Crappy shoe, but she got one. And yeah, you're right, vocal. Of course, why not? We should be vocal. Absolutely.
The irony, Clark's proving loud and clear that women's sports bring serious cash. Everyone's cashing in, except Nike. It's becoming the question nobody wants to ask. Did the world's biggest sports brand just make the biggest mistake in women's basketball history?
Sports Nike wants to prioritize A'ja Wilson, and it fears the optics of giving a rookie a signature shoe before an already established star who just won league MVP for the third time. We have talked about this multiple times on my channel. Is A'ja Wilson currently the best player in the WNBA? Yes. Is Caitlin Clark currently the face of the WNBA? Yes. Do I think if A'ja Wilson dropped a shoe and Caitlin Clark dropped a shoe today at the very same time, that Caitlin Clark would outsell A'ja's shoe by 100 times? Yes, I think that would.
Imagine sitting in that Nike boardroom, watching the Caitlin Clark phenomenon explode, and choosing to do nothing. It's like locking a Ferrari in a garage. But just when you think the story is over, Aya Wilson announces a 6-year extension with Nike. Some say it's a coincidence. Others, they're calling it retaliation. And fans are starting to wonder, is this deal about competition or jealousy?
Absolute and utter embarrassment. Nike should be shut down simply out of shame for the way they have treated Caitlin.
The internet is divided. Supporters are calling out Wilson's extension, labeling it a panic move. The WNBA fanbase is split. Some cheer Wilson on. Others say this is about control, not celebration. One thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark has shifted the power dynamic in women's basketball. And not everyone's ready for that change.